prayer as pontiff, and he thanked his followers for their support. Last week, the 85-year-old Pope announced he is resigning because of advanced age. Well, now that the Catholics have had a chance to get used to the fact that Pope Benedict is stepping down, many are turning their focus to the next pope. Who do they think should lead the church moving forward? Well, joining me now to talk about this very important decision is James Salt, Executive Director of Catholics United, and Kim Daniels, Director of Catholic Voices USA. Welcome, both of you. First, both of you are Catholic. You have different visions on which direction the church should take. James, today you argue in the Washington Post that the current strategy of the Catholic Church is failing. Why, and what type of change do you want to see?
Well, thanks, Deb. Well, certainly with the departure of Benedict, it's a gracious gesture of humility. But more importantly, it's an opportunity to reset the priorities of the Catholic Church. Take, for example, the Catholic Church is known for its strict opposition to issues of human sexuality, its opposition to gay marriage and contraception. What if instead our faith were known for its teachings relating to the common good, issues like climate change and the need to reorient the world economy to better meet the needs of the world's poor?
So it's much more of a progressive vision. Kim, during his 8-year papacy, Pope Benedict XVI elevated about 67 cardinals. And so it seems safe to say that at least he and those cardinals feel the church's priorities are pretty much where they want to be. Do you think it'll continue as a conservative body still?
Well, I think it's clear that the church will continue to confidently engage the world, proclaiming its teachings, even when they're countercultural. We're not called to accommodate ourselves to this isolating and tired culture. We're called to bring a life-affirming message as an alternative to people. And I have to disagree with James's characterization of this as a liberal versus conservative matter. In fact, we're a both-and faith. It's not mutually exclusive to say that you could care about the poor and also care about babies in a woman's womb. We're called to serve the voiceless and vulnerable wherever we find them, and that's the message of the church.
What's fascinating is that U.S. Catholics have split with the Vatican on a lot of issues. Now there's a slight chance that Archbishop Timothy Dolan could be up for major consideration. He certainly could take the church into a more modern direction. What do you think, James?
Well, let's be honest. There's a crisis of leadership within the Catholic Church, and especially within American Catholicism. 1 out of every 3 Catholics born into the faith no longer consider themselves Catholic. And it's because we no longer see the inspiration of the Gospels in the actions of our bishops. Increasingly, our bishops are known for their political actions and inheriting the legacy of Pat Robertson and Jerry Falwell, and are less and less a spiritual inspiration.
And so, Kim, let me ask you that, because that leads to another question. If people are moving more towards secularism, away from the message of the church, how does the church bring those people back and against these feelings of disenfranchisement that they may be having?
Well, I think, first of all, it's true that the Catholics go to church. Catholics are in pews every Sunday because they stand with our church. It's not a case that it's a matter of political issues versus service issues. We're called to serve the church. We're called to serve the voiceless and vulnerable wherever we find them. This is part of the new evangelization, which is bringing a confident message of rekindling the faith in these cultures that have become increasingly secular and different. This is a message that resonates with young Catholics, and you see this in the March for Life, which is heavily Catholic, and as even pro-choice leaders will agree, has an incredible youthful enthusiasm about it. You see it at World Youth Day, where millions of young people come from around the world.
So people are coming back. So people are
coming back.
So very quickly, as we wrap up, there's an old saying I was reminded of in one of the papers today. It says, God has already chosen the next pope, but it's up to the cardinals to figure out who God's choice is. So, Kim, quickly, who do you think will be the next pope?
Well, I can't say who it will be, but I think that I hear a lot of people talking about Cardinal Marc Ouellet of Canada. He speaks 6 languages. He's head of the Congregation of Bishops, and he'd be a great, great pope.
And James, last word. Who do you think will be pope?
Well, I'm looking at Jorge Bergoglio from Argentina, who's more known for his humility and his he commutes to work with public transportation, and he's a Jesuit. And he has an incredible respect for the needs of the poor in Argentina.
All right, James Salt, Kim Daniels, thank you so much. We really appreciate your insights today.
Thanks, Deb.
Well, you can follow the process of selecting a new pope on our Belief blog at CNN.com/